Hello everyone! On today's video we're going to talk about the GMAT test, and I'll divide the video into 3 different parts. First we'll cover the basics of the GMAT, and so in case you're just starting out and you don't know what the GMAT exam is, I'll cover some useful information for you. Then I'll move on to speaking about the utility of the GMAT test, and by utility I mean that why should you be taking the GMAT test? Like, what is it good for, and how does it play out in terms of getting admission into the top schools? So, and then also what role it plays in getting good scholarships. And then finally, we'll be talking about getting a score more than 700 on the test and what that could mean for you. So let's talk about the exam. So GMAT is a standardized test. Basically, you have exams like the GRE, SAT, TAGE, MAGE, etc. These are all standardized tests, and GMAT is a type of standardized test. And another important basic point to know about the GMAT is that the GMAT is used by business schools around the world for admissions into their MBA programs, MIM programs, and PhD programs. So if you're applying to any business-related course, the GMAT is very useful from that perspective. It's the one that you want to take. Now, one question we frequently get is, should I be taking the GMAT or the GRE? And to make a long story short, if you're applying for a business-related course, then take the GMAT, not the GRE. If you're looking to apply for a PhD or a Master in Research, then take the GRE. The reason is that the GMAT is designed for business schools and the GRE is more useful for research studies. So sometimes schools consider that there is no difference between the GMAT or GRE for their particular application process. But if you're applying for an MBA, then it certainly carries more weight to have the GMAT than the GRE. Now let's talk a little bit about the format of the exam. So essentially the format of the exam is that there are 4 sections. You'll be tested on your English skills, and this is called the verbal section, which will test out reading comprehension, sentence correction, critical reasoning. It's not very complicated. They're not going to make you read Shakespeare. It's really, essentially it's a simple exam, but they test out logical thinking via the English language and your mathematical reasoning skills. So as long as you can understand what you're reading and you can read fast and you're able to comprehend things quickly, then you're good to go and you wouldn't have a problem on this exam. In the second section, they're going to test about math skills. Now here, they're not going to test out super complicated math. Again, they're going to be testing out basic things like arithmetic, basic algebra, and so on. They're not going to test out math skills that are beyond a high school level. So that's the math part of it. Then you have the integrated reasoning, which is a combination of your English and your math skills. This is called integrated reasoning section. And finally, just added recently to the online version is the analytical writing assessment, which is the AWA. In this, you write an essay. And so essentially at the end of the exam, you're given a score out of 800, and if you're hitting a 700 or more, it's considered a very good score. Now, you may say, what is the utility of getting the GMAT exam? And first and foremost, the utility of the GMAT exam is that it allows you to gain admissions at top business schools and get scholarships. So that's the first key utility, and I'll talk a little bit more about this subsequently. And the second advantage of taking the GMAT is that you have a high score, and then you're likely to get more scholarships. So I'll explain this in more detail via a question. The one question that I frequently get is, hey, I have a 670. Can you tell me that if I can go to NCED or not? Now the answer could be might or might not. So what I'm saying here is that the GMAT is just one part of the entire admissions process. You need to understand that when you're applying for MBA programs or PhD programs abroad, they look at a wide range of things. First and foremost, they look at your standardized test score, which is the GMAT. Second, they're going to look at your essays and your application. And they're also going to look at your interviews, and if you reach that stage, then they're going to combine everything and roll out a decision. So even if you have a very good score, this is not a guarantee for being accepted in the most famous universities or schools. It might happen that if you have a 670, you might get into all of these schools, but if you have a 700 on the GMAT, it's much more likely. And it's also much more likely that you're going to get scholarships to help you afford it. So third and final point I want to cover in this video is if you're looking to get started on your GMAT journey, what are some things you should start doing immediately? So first and foremost, you should block out a window of 4 to 8 months. This is very important. This is precisely what I ask students from the beginning of the preparation if they want to achieve a score of 700 or more. And you have to prepare full time. This is going to be uninterrupted, because if you take a break or go on and off, like work for a month and then take 10 days off, then this isn't going to work. It's just going to take up your energy and waste your time. 70% of the preparation is up to you. We show you the way to score over 700, and we give you all the tools, all the material you'll need in this way, but it's definitely depending on you and on your high commitment to this preparation. Breaking the preparation just drains your energy. So the first key that we have for you is, of course, to block out that 4 to 8 months where you can prepare precisely and in a continuous manner. The second step is that you should prepare continuously on all aspects of the GMAT. So you should look at the GMAT structure. You'll quickly see that GMAT Verbal has certain subsections to it. There is the reading comprehension, there's critical reasoning, and there's sentence correction. So you should be practicing all of these skills every day. This increases the speed of your preparation. Third thing, you should be using relevant GMAT material, and for that we give you all of the best and for free. And the fourth and final tip is, if you want to score well on the GMAT, you should be extremely analytical. English and math are just tools to help test out your analytical and critical reasoning skills on the test. So anyway, getting a 700 or more on the GMAT is totally doable. You just need to be ready for preparation and to contact us by phone or message today. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. Have a great day.